Hi, my name is Diana Wright, and I am the owner and soap artist and maker at Bubbly Body Shoppe, LLC. And today I just kind of wanted to show you some behind the scenes videos of me swirling some soap. I get a lot of questions about the swirls in my soap, so I thought I'd make a video that shows you the process that I used with one of the swirls that I do. I'd like to point out that this isn't a soap making tutorial, it's just a video of me swirling soap. Lye is a caustic chemical and it needs to be used with care and extreme cautionary measures and protective gear such as gloves and long sleeves, closed-toed shoes, and eye protection. And it's very important to keep kids and pets out of the soaping area because spills can happen. And so if you've never made soap before and would like to learn how to do it, please refer to some of the instructional videos on basic beginning soap making on YouTube. Soap Queen has some great ones. That being said, I'll explain my process a little bit and let you know the recipe that I use and explain the swirl that I'm doing and the soap scene here. This soap took about 20 minutes to pour, and so I've chopped up the video a little bit just so you can see the basic pattern of the pour, but you don't have to sit through the entire pour to see the end result. My recipe is a vegan recipe that produces a nice and hard bar of soap that produces quite a bit of lather. It's 33% coconut oil, 33% palm oil, 16% canola oil, 14.9% olive oil, 3% castor oil, and 0.1% vitamin E. My lye concentration is 33%, and my water to lye ratio is about 2:1. And if you run all of these through a soap calculator, it'll give you the exact measurements that you need for the recipe. The fragrance oil that I'm using is Avalon from Nurture. It's a very well behaved fragrance. It smells like apples. It's one of my favorites, and it doesn't cause any acceleration or ricing. It doesn't cause any separation or discoloration, and that makes it a good fragrance oil to use for swirls because it gives you lots of time to do intricate designs like this one. You'll see toward the end of the process that the batter starts to thicken up a bit, but it still stays fluid enough for me to work with. And this particular swirl pattern, like I said, it took about 20 minutes to pour. So when you're needing that much time to complete a project, you want to make sure that you have a fragrance oil that you can trust to behave well to see you through to the end. The colors that I'm using today are all from Mad Micas, and the green is Sea Glass. The pink is just a little bit of Pretty Kitty, which I've mixed with titanium dioxide. Pretty Kitty on its own is like a fuchsia color, but when you mix it with the white, it turns pastel. And the lighter color is just the batter mixed with a little bit of titanium dioxide. And as you can see, I just layered the colors one on top of each other in the same pattern until the mold is full. I did take a soap bar a couple of times and put it underneath the mold so that the batter would flow to the other side a bit easier. And every now and then you'll see me bang the mold on the table, and that's just to make sure that I can get rid of the air bubbles that form in there. And I'll jiggle it back and forth just to flatten out the batter so that I can fill the mold more easily. And you'll see me scraping the containers, and that's just because I want to get every bit out. When I am done filling the mold, I tap it once more again just to get all the air bubbles out. And a lot of people, including myself, like to use dividers in the mold to achieve a certain swirl. And I do that too, but today I wanted to show you that you don't always have to do that. By pouring it this way, you'll notice that the color changes or the stripes are going across the mold horizontally instead of vertically like you get when you use the dividers. So when you start the swirl, you'll kind of do a reverse mantra swirl, going up and down the mold instead of across. And then you'll want to make sure that the swirling stick goes all the way to the bottom of the mold and that you drag it along the bottom to make sure you're scraping the bottom of the mold. If we were just swirling the top of the top of the soap, we would only slightly insert the swirling stick, but since we're swirling the whole soap all the way through, we need to make sure that the stick hits the bottom, and then we'll drag it with every swirl that we make. And then I just go straight down the center of the soap and move the batter in a downward motion, and then I make figure 8 swirls. There isn't really a right or wrong way to do this. It's just the way I like to do it, and it's my favorite part of soap making. I learned not to go crazy with the swirls because then the colors can get muddled and it could look messy. And so tomorrow I'll show you how I cut it, and we'll let this set overnight, and we'll be back with the cut tomorrow. We are back. It is the next day and this soap is ready to cut. You'll see me turn it on its side to cut into sections. This is not a design that can be cut with a multi-bar cutter because we want to cut it so that the top swirl is what is showing on the front of the bar. And the way we swirled it by pushing our swirling stick all the way down to the bottom and dragging it along the bottom as we swirl makes it so that the top swirl can be shown on every bar. Here you'll just see me cleaning up the bars a bit. I like to use a razor blade to do this. I have better luck with that than I do using a soap planer, but that's just my preference. And now I'm mixing up the batter for the piping. I use the same recipe for this as I do for the soap. I put it in a piping bag and use a 1M piping tip, and then I decorate the tops with the roses that I made from soap dough, and also with leaves and hearts that I cut out of the soap ends that were cut off the loaf. Using the soap ends and making them into decorations has kind of become my signature, and that way you use almost all of the soap loaf and very little goes to waste. The parts I have left over, even after I've made the decorations, are cut into samples for people to use at the markets that I attend. And then, of course, I add a little glitter. And here's the final product. It's a very lengthy process. Thank you for staying with me to the end. These soaps will cure for about 4 weeks and then they'll be available for purchase on the website in mid-March of 2025. If you would like to order one or any of the products in our spring line, please visit www.bubblybodyshop.com. Bubbly Body Shop, we're more than just a soap shop, we're a whole body shop.